It's summertime, and a lot of you guys, especially if you're still students, are probably looking for some stuff to do, because supposedly there's more time in the summer or something like that. Anyway, if you're like me, then even if your schedule is no less busy in the summer, you're looking for something new to do. It feels kind of refreshing. So today I'm going to offer you guys a little bit of my own advice and give you guys 10 creative things to try this summer. Tip number 1, travel someplace near your home and explore a little bit. Whether it's a park or a forest or just a shopping mall that you've never been to, go someplace new that's not too far from where you live and check it out. I find that when it's actually close to where you live, there's a lot of places that you just kind of overlook. It's ridiculous, it's like 2 minutes away, and yet it's always the things that are a little further that seem kind of cooler and more different. So pick a place and try it. Number 2, have a conversation with a stranger. Don't go and drive some poor busy person crazy if they're trying to get to work or something like that. I mean, choose your person very carefully. But go to a bookstore and find someone browsing and ask them what their favorite book or genre is. Or just ask your cashier when you're at the grocery store how they're doing, or if they have any fun plans for the summer, or if they're enjoying their summer. This is something we typically don't actually take the time to do. There are people all around us that we could interact with, or maybe we have minimal interaction with, but we really don't go further than, whoops, excuse me, or thank you, have a nice day. And it's kind of a shame because all the people around you have their own really complex lives. So do be careful, don't choose somebody who's in a hurry or, who's got 10 kids with them or something like that. I mean, pick your person very carefully, but just try and have a little conversation with someone who might be browsing or sitting, not really doing much, because that person probably is actually really interesting. Number 3, try a new hairstyle. It is amazing what just cutting your hair or doing your hair a little differently, what that can do to your entire mindset. Learn how to do a fancy braid if you have long hair, or get your hair trimmed a different way if you have short hair or something. Just do something different. Try something that you never maybe thought that you would try before. It's a bit impulsive maybe, but it's fun and it will grow back. Tip number 4, buy a new shirt or skirt or dress or a pair of pants or shorts or whatever. Kind of like changing your hairstyle, changing what you wear actually will affect you as well. Whether it's a new color or a new cut or something you've always wanted, or maybe just an impulse buy, just get something new and see how it makes you feel. Because wearing something new actually makes you feel a little bit new too. Tip number 5, find a new musical artist that maybe you've never even heard of before, or at least someone whose music you haven't heard. It doesn't matter what genre, it can be a genre you listen to all the time, or it can be one that you never listen to, rap or rock or orchestral. Find something new and then just try and find everything you can from that artist and just listen to them. It's actually really amazing what type of power music has over your mind. I'm a musician and have been since I was really little. It's always been a part of me, and every time I find something new, it still affects me differently and it still makes me feel different. Actually, whenever you're looking for anything creative at all to do, you really should try and find something that accesses a different sense. So whether it's a sense of feel, like when you're wearing something new or cut your hair or something, or music, which is hearing or taste or smell or anything like that, when you can access those senses, you really can find that you open up parts of your mind that you didn't even really realize were there. But go to Spotify and put on the radio for an artist, or just search for a random song or something. There's plenty of ways that you can use Spotify to find new music. You can also find maybe your friend's playlist or some popular playlists or something like that. Just play around with it a little bit and you can find some really cool stuff. You can also use YouTube. Tip number 6, meet up with an old friend. It can seem a little bit maybe anti-creative to go backwards in time, but it actually can be really fun to just text a friend who maybe you haven't talked to in a very long time, but someone you used to be quite close to, and just meet up and see what's happened in their life and compare maybe what's happened in your life. It's cool because life takes everyone in different directions, and especially if it's someone you used to be close to, so maybe you actually have some sort of basis to connect on. You can kind of have that experience of observing how life is going, and that's sort of the same feeling that you get when you read a book and you access someone else's mind and you go in someone else's timeline, except it's real. Tip number 7, cook something new, and bonus points if you're as bad in the kitchen as I am. It's kind of daunting, especially for those of us who don't like to cook, to be told that we should try cooking something, honestly, and it seems like a really weird tip coming from me, especially if you guys saw that video from, I don't know, a year or 2 ago when I tried to bake something. Complete fail. But just like music accesses your hearing and seeing someplace new can access your sense of sight and smell and all of that, then cooking something can access your sense of taste. And I find that even though I really do not like cooking or baking or anything like that normally, when I do it kind of as a special occasion, kind of a one-time thing, it's actually really fun to make a mess in the kitchen. So go online and find a recipe. You can try something really, really difficult, or something really simple, or something that you don't think you're gonna like, or something that's very predictable you. Whatever you want, however much of a challenge you really want to put yourself to. Try something new, make a little more of a mess than you normally would, and see what happens. Tip number 8, invite some friends over and try a new game. This can be a card game that you can find instructions for online. I mean, there's tons of those online. Or it can be maybe a board game that you've picked out at the store. Especially good if you and none of your friends have played it before, because then you all kind of get to experience this. But this is kind of not only a creative thing, but also kind of a bonding thing that you and your friends can do. Because even if you completely fail, or you find your new favorite game, or whatever happens with it, it's kind of just a fun new thing that you can do. And when it's with people, then it really can inspire you in ways that you maybe never thought of before. Or at least you can just have a really good time. Tip number 9, go to a performance that you normally wouldn't choose to go to. This can be rock or pop or orchestra, opera, ballet, whatever you want. If it's something that you don't normally go to, it can be really a cool experience. You'll see a performance that you've never really experienced before. You'll be around a bunch of people who maybe you don't normally hang out with, because if this isn't something you normally do, it's probably also not the type of people that you normally hang with. There are so many levels of how this kind of opens you up to a different side of the world, and you might discover something you really like too, or something that you know to avoid for the rest of your life. Whatever it is, it's one evening or afternoon or just a few hours where you're completely immersed in an environment that you've never experienced before. And tip number 10, the last tip I'm going to give you guys, is learn how to say a few things in a new language. I do not mean you have to embark on the huge, enormous quest of learning a new language, but there are literally hundreds and thousands of languages in this world, and there's no way you're going to know even hello in all those languages, so just pick one that you've always maybe been curious about, or one that's maybe really challenging for you, and try to learn how to say a few things. Hello, goodbye, how are you? It can be whatever you want. Maybe less constructive if you choose to learn all the swear words in a language or something, but you know, whatever floats your boat. It doesn't even matter if it ends up being a total disaster and you feel just uncultured and stupid or something. Just try to do something. I mean, challenge yourself to speak something, to say something, to express yourself somehow in a way that you've never even thought about before. So there you have it. There are my 10 tips for creative things to do this summer. Let me know in the comments if you're going to try any of these and which one, or if you have your own advice for creative things to do. I really hope all of you guys are enjoying your summer. It's really, really hot where I am. I'm just dying right now during this video, but I do like summer still, and I'll take the warmth. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.